Can you share some more info on what freedom looks like to you? Wow, so freedom is huge umbrella term. So for the sake of today's topic, so the title of this live stream is Separating from Dark Thoughts, Freedom Through Heart-Centered Practices. So for me, freedom through heart-centered practices looks like prioritizing heart-centeredness so that we are not trapped in the illusion of what the conditioned mind creates. The worries, the fears, and whatever goes under the umbrella of what you may deem as a dark thought. In that space, in that very limited space of the conditioned mind, there is no freedom. It just feels like walls, and just walls that we can't get out of. There's walls with no door. We really feel like that is our reality. We really feel like that is life, that darkness, and there's no way out. A big part of freedom is prioritizing compassion, understanding, self-love towards yourself first and foremost. Because when you practice that within yourself, it's much easier to engage with the world in a heart-centered way. And when I say this, right, when you're heart-centered, it truly allows you to attract that which is for you. There's this quote that I like by Marianne Williamson, and she says, "If it's not love, it's fear." And often with these dark thoughts, it's always fear, of course. When we practice these heart-centered practices, we know the distinction between the love and fear. Love is also an umbrella term. Love is used in so many ways. So if I were to be here in this moment and specifically define what I mean by love, especially within this space, the here now space, for me, right, love is self-awareness. Love is understanding. Love is support. It's safety. Those are all aspects of love we must prioritize giving to ourselves first. Because when we don't prioritize it, what happens is we look for it outside of ourselves. We look for it in others. Maybe in certain hobbies, we might look for it. We just look for it everywhere else except the actual source, which is you. You are source. You are life. You are the present moment. This is why it's so important to improve your relationship with yourself, because within solitude, that is in the optimal space to tap in with source, to be one with source. And the more you prioritize that, you'll realize that your awareness of source love, awareness, consciousness, it stays with you throughout the day. Whether you start with 5 minutes of the day, 10 minutes of the day, whether you go in and out of it, either way, the more you prioritize that space, you're tapped in. You're one. And what even came to me is like, define what tapped in means. What does tapped in mean? I would define that when you're not tapped in, we forget that we are not separate. When you tap in, you remember we are one. You are one with Source. No matter where you go, no matter where you are life. I want to remind you that even with what I'm sharing, it's all pointers. Words such as source, words such as the present moment, even the now. I described aspects of the now, but so much of it is beyond concept. So much of it is just a part of your journey. And the beauty of being a part of the space is to point you into that direction and to inspire you to prioritize solitude, prioritize how you spend solitude, prioritize how you speak to yourself, prioritize how you respond to yourself consciously. So freedom for me looks like separation from thought. In the most simplest way. Healthy separation. Not an escape. I don't share escape. It's always an approach. Escape is fear. Approach is love. Approach is understanding. Approach can even be considered a curiosity of, what is this very intense emotion I feel? I remember this emotion. This is the emotion that arises when I think about urgency, when I think something is urgent. Oh my gosh, there goes that corresponding emotion. There's a curiosity there. So many times I would say curiosity is a channel towards space. So when you respond curiously, now you invite in space to be for a moment. Freedom is space. Freedom is awareness. Yeah.